Kimberly, what more do we know, and what's the general take on this?
Well, I think that, the nomination of Neil Gorsuch may indicate that Trump is, looking to avoid that contentious confirmation battle that you mentioned. He does have very strong conservative roots, but he's by far a person who is more palatable to Senate Democrats than some other nominees that Donald Trump could have announced tonight.
Indeed. And what do we know about his views? I mean, you say that he's perhaps trying to avoid a contentious battle to get the nomination there for that vacancy here. But what do we know about him?
Well, we know one thing that I think will be interesting for Senate Democrats is that we know that he's forcibly pushed back on the deference that courts tend to give to executive agencies. Now, with the Trump administration already kind of unveiling its plans, that could be something that is very attractive to Senate Democrats. But the other thing that we know is that he will be attractive to Republicans and their base as well. It was mentioned tonight that he is a textualist. He follows in the line of Justice Antonin Scalia, who he may be replacing. And that's really the idea that you look to the text of the laws that you're interpreting rather than kind of what the purpose behind the law was. And I think we saw a reference to that whenever Neil Gorsuch mentioned that it's probably a bad judge if that person likes every ruling that they come to.
Well, Kimberly, the thing is, I mean, you mentioned it's maybe not so contentious here as well, but really does it matter? I mean, the Republicans essentially can make this a shoo-in, can't they, with the majority they have?
Well, that's right. They do have the votes in order to make sure that Neil Gorsuch is confirmed to the court. I think what will matter is how Senate Democrats approach this nomination. There has been word from some Democrats that they are going to filibuster any nominee that Donald Trump puts forward, and there's certainly calls from the left for Democrats to drag their heels on this one. But Democrats may be playing the long game. 2018 looks really terrible for Democrats, the election map. And so it may be that, they want to bide their time and pick their fight. So I think it's not a matter of whether or not Neil Gorsuch gets on the court, but how he gets there and how he's treated by both parties.
Thank you, Kimberly. Kimberly, joining us from Washington. Just to remind us, this 49-year-old Neil Gorsuch has been nominated to take that vacancy on the Supreme Court. Of course, the Senate will vote on this.